Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to 2CTV, your global news channel. Today, in the Middle East, the conflict between Israel and the Islamic Republic of Iran heated up massively. The Israelis managed to successfully destroy the Islamic Revolutionary Guard's headquarters. Meanwhile, the IRGC, of course, the attack by the IDF was a precise targeted attack to ensure that there are no many civilian casualties. Meanwhile, the IRGC themselves decided to recklessly attack Israel across the country and primarily target the urban areas, civilian areas. They have managed to hit schools, mosques, and a number of residential buildings, but they did also hit some of the IDF sites. We're gonna give you guys all the updates in this live stream. If you are a member of 2CTV Plus, make sure to check your emails, because obviously we've now been sending you guys the details for the upcoming new media conference that will be held on the 9th of August by our team. If you're a YouTube member, you shouldn't become a YouTube member, because we have 2CTV Plus, which is our independent platform. On the YouTube, there's a YouTube button that goes to YouTube. You don't really get anything out of it. Whereas 2CTV Plus, you can get a lot out of it. But we realize we do have a number of YouTube members. So for you guys, if you go on the community tab on YouTube, on the channel, we have also released some discounted tickets to the new media conference for you guys as well. And as of Monday, we're going to be releasing the early bird ticket to everybody else. Now let's talk about the Middle East. Let's talk about this chaos. The Iranian regime's missiles targeting cities like Haifa, and this is a mixed Israeli Jewish Arab mixed city, and they managed to hit the oldest mosque in the area. It's insane, by the way, considering that the IRGC claim to be the saviors of the Islamic world and the saviors of all the mosques around the world. They don't care. You know, this is the same thing with Hamas in Gaza. They will use humans as, civilians as human shields. And this happened once again. Now, we will go back to the situation with the mosque. But the problem that we also had a number of attacks on civilian buildings, residential buildings. Again, the next video we're going to show you is from Haifa. And then we're going to come back and tell you guys about a school that was hit by Iran. As you can see from the evidence, it seems like the Iranian regime are now using cluster bombs, which goes everywhere. And this was a daycare center for children that was hit by the Islamic Republic. Now, there doesn't seem to be any outrage from the liberal globalist government. There doesn't seem to be any outrage from the United Nations, from the European Union, Emmanuel Macron, Mark Carney, and all the others. Keir Starmer. But every time we had the IDF doing a precise targeted attack, there was complete outrage from all of them, every single one of them, easily condemning Israel for defending itself, but turning a blind eye when the Iranian regime targets Israeli civilians, and in this case, Arab Israelis. As we said, this is what they did in Haifa, the oldest mosque in the area. In Haifa, they hit it. Now, there were denials that they were using cluster bombs. Now they're saying they would use everything that they have, because they would, well, according to the regime in Iran, there is no differentiation between military sites, and residential areas, daycare centers, schools, mosques, churches, synagogues, because they believe every single person in Israel must be wiped out. Again, why is it that while the Iranian regime are saying this and doing it, because they're actually saying it and doing it at the same time, we don't really have the United Nations and all the others urging them, firstly, to stop and urging them to no longer be genocidal towards the Israelis. The only urgency is towards Israel to do ceasefire. What about the Iranian regime? And why is it that the only conversation we're having is about the nuclear program? The nuclear program of the Islamic Republic is a huge crisis. We know that. But that's not the only problem. They've declared war on the Western world, on Israel, on the UK, on the US, and everybody else. Now, why is it that we don't get the Western liberal globalists calling on them to do ceasefire, to chill, to stop attacking us? It's only that President Trump is getting attacked for considering to disarm Iran. Israel is getting attacked for defending itself. The Islamic Republic is not getting criticized. Why? Now, Sky News Arabia also confirmed the reports that a school in Tel Aviv was hit, unfortunately, although luckily the kids were not there, because obviously their school is closed. Let's quickly go to this, a few second video. Although that video was also from the other side. We're going to get the actual footage from the area with the school in Tel Aviv. While we do that, let's talk about one of the rockets that actually did hit near the Interior Ministry headquarters in Haifa. Of course, in Iran, they are saying that the Interior Ministry, the headquarters, has been fully destroyed. That's not the case, by the way. That's just the Iranian regime saying what they usually say.
شو صار؟ ايه؟ ايش فيه؟ وين الشباب؟ في واحد اول كله طحن هون.
Yes, despite the fact that the Iranian regime have said they've completely destroyed the whole headquarters, there have been no reports of injuries or significant damage to the structure of the building. It's just moderate damages to parts of the headquarters. Now, meanwhile, inside Iran, there's been major attacks by the Israeli Defense Forces. The IRGC sites getting completely destroyed, including the headquarters that has now been wiped out as well. Let's go to the first video we have received from inside Iran. Of course, the internet is still completely down. I haven't been able to get in touch with my father, and some of the videos will be delayed hours, obviously. Let's go to Iran. Now, as you can see, a lot of the IRGC sites and bases are in the mountains and in the countryside and outside, which does make it a lot easier for the Israeli fighter jets to target. And also considering that the Israelis are basically just flying over without any difficulty in the Iranian airspace, it does make it easier for them to actually do targeted attacks compared to the Iranian regime, who are just launching missiles without even knowing where they're hitting. And so you have that to deal with, but at the same time, the Islamic Republic still do have a number of government sites, which, again, most of it in Tehran has been hit by the Israeli fighter jets. But for those ones, they've had to issue evacuation orders, and most of the people in those residential areas did leave. We've had millions of people who have already fled the capital, but some of them are still there, especially those who are supporters of the IRGC and those who are members of the family members and relatives of the Islamic regime's leadership. Several missiles also hit the main headquarters of the IRGC to bring it down in Tehran. The Israeli army has a list of 300,000 personnel from the Ministry of Intelligence, the IRGC Intelligence, Judiciary Protection, Army, the National Defense Protection, Special Forces and Security Brigades and everybody else. They are hunting down every single member of this terrorist organization. Let's go to Iran.
بیاین بیرون بیاین بچه‌ها بیاین بالا بیرون کجا رو زده پشت سر رو زد بغل زد سپاه رو زده آقا رو زد سپاه رو زد کجا بریم جایی نداریم آقا رو زد پاشو 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 نمیتونم پاشو آقا رو زد آریان تا سر کوچه باید بری این نقطه رو میزنی بچه ها رو بکش بادا بچه ها بچه ها بیا بیرون بچه ها بیا بیرون بچه ها ولی ولی ولی
The absolute state of the Iranian regime. We've once again had a few hours ago another mysterious random earthquake, this time around the capital, which is again quite questionable considering the location, by the way. 5.1 magnitude earthquake rattled the capital. As of course there were some areas outside it, especially obviously the epicenter of this was the main part in towards the east, but also Qom, which is basically where the Fordo nuclear facility is located, had a bit of a tremor and so-called earthquake. So there are a lot of speculations whether something has been blown up underneath or whether they are doing some nuclear testings or whatever is happening. We don't know, but we do know that there are random, mysterious so-called earthquakes are happening now, left, right and center. Yesterday we had one and today we had another one, and a couple of days ago one near Esfahan. So you have that. And then Ahvaz in the southern part of Iran has also been attacked. A lot of the IRGC militants have obviously fled the capital. Some of them were running away towards the mountains. They found the bunker. Well, they knew where the bunker was. And the IDF took them down. There was 30 of them who were there, which we reported yesterday. But some of them have already left to other towns and cities or in the mountains and other places. Ahvaz has had a massive attack by the Israeli Air Force. We're going to go to that video quickly. It's not that long, but then we're going to show you what is going on in other parts. Now, it is important to mention that Ahvaz is is experiencing the first round of attacks by the IDF. And Ahvaz is a very, very crucial because it's the hub of the military hub and also industrial hub, which obviously they help build a lot of the ballistic missiles in terms of the factories around that city. So that's been dealt with. It's the first time that the IDF decided to attack. Of course, they've been focusing on the major cities, including Mashhad, Tehran, Esfahan, Shiraz, Tabriz, and now we have Ahvaz to deal with. According to the initial reports, there have also been explosions and attempted assassinations, at least, in certain buildings, apartment buildings, belonging to more nuclear scientists. As you guys know, the Israelis, and this is primarily Mossad intelligence, using the targeted drones, they have managed to take out a number of the top IRGC nuclear scientists, and we don't have the confirmation whether this latest round of assassination attempt was successful or not. So far, almost all the assassination attempts have been successful, but we're still waiting for the confirmation of who it was and if they have been eliminated. In regards to the Islamic Republic's ballistic missile launch pads and the actual missiles and those who operated, well, they are being taken out one by one. So as we said, the Iranian army is all over the place. So all you have is the actual IRGC members, militants, who are running around the country, driving around with the ballistic missiles. Most of them, the moment the Israelis see them, they hit them anyway. They got the ballistic missile launchers, not many of them left. And they also move around the air defense systems, and that's it. So they're just playing whack-a-mole, right? But the IRGC launch site commander decided to flee in this video that's been released by the IDF for his life. He was running away after the, obviously, the launcher was attacked. The IDF drones successfully hunted him down and took him out. So I'm not really sure what it was thinking. You got a drone chasing you. Do you think you're just going to run around the desert or wherever you were in the mountains and think that you're going to somehow survive, considering that the airspace is now being controlled by the Israelis? Meanwhile, the United Nations, yes, that pointless and stupid and corrupt and waste of money, so-called United Nations, have been have been gathering all day. The Iranian regime are continuing to shout, "We are not surrendering, and we are not doing zero enrichment uranium, blah, 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 blah." We are willing to discuss, we are willing to negotiate for a limited enrichment. President Trump is not happy about that. But the United States and the ambassador had to obviously explain to the rest of the UN and the corrupt organization that the Islamic Republic started this conflict and they chose this war. They were given a 60-day, obviously, deadline by the president, and they seem to have ignored it. Let's go to the US.
Iran's leaders could have avoided this conflict had they agreed to a deal that would have prevented them from ever obtaining a nuclear weapon. But they refused to do so, choosing instead to delay and deny. We can no longer ignore that Iran has all that it needs to achieve a nuclear weapon. All it needs is a decision from their supreme leader. That is unacceptable, and this council must urge them to change course.
I just loved seeing the faces of the Iranian regime delegation. It is embarrassing. Anyway, so we have a number of the Israeli sites were hit earlier. Of course, minimal damage by the Iranian regime's missiles. It is also absolutely fascinating that people like Jackson Hinkle have been going around saying Israel's Iron Dome is not working. Like, okay, well, the Iron Dome is only being used for one thing right now. It's not like they're not using the Iron Dome. They are using the Iron Dome, but for their shrapnel. So when the actual ballistic missiles come, the Iron Dome is not built for that. They use Arrow 3. But the Iron Dome is activated for afterwards, when the actual missile has been hit, and of course the shrapnel is coming down, then that's where the Iron Dome intercepts that as well to ensure that it doesn't really go anywhere crazy. But it's not the actual Iron Dome that is in charge. Jackson Hinkle saying, "Oh, we brought down the Iron Dome, doesn't exist anymore." Calm down. That's not how it works. But they don't know anything about the reality of the region and this conflict. Of course, 2CTV is here to educate them. Now, let's see what we have. By the way, 1,075,000 subscribers. We're still to this day celebrating. Actually, it's the last couple of days of celebrations that we've exceeded 1 million subscribers, which was only a few days ago. But we are going to give you that 50% discount for 2CTV Plus annual memberships. if you use the promo code 1million by going directly on 2c.tv. Only by going on the website, or find the link in the description, obviously. You can use the 1million as a promo code as a new member annual subscription. Of course, at the same time, download the 2CTV app. That's the home, that's the hub of everything. You got the access to the live shows, live reports, the news alerts, chat forum, documentaries, interviews, premium shows, everything that we have. All right, so let's also, as I said earlier, members of YouTube, you guys don't really get much by being a member of YouTube, as you guys know. If you're a member of 2CTV Plus, you get a lot. But members of YouTube, obviously you guys are showing support, but I thought I'd give something back. We are having our new media conference that is being held on the 9th of August. We've already sent the tickets out to the members of 2CTV Plus, but we're also going to give you guys on YouTube members discounted price. If you go on the community tab, the membership tab on YouTube, the main page, you can find the link to the tickets there, and then of course we'll let you guys know about the early birds release for everybody else as well. Now, reaction from the live chat. First super chat, Iran is like Russia, it targets civilians. The thing about the Iranian regime is that I'm not really sure if they actually know. They just press it, and because they're all panicking, and most of the people who are the ballistic missile launch commanders on the ground, launching it, they are no longer the professionals. They've all been eliminated. So they just hit it and just hope for the best. It's sort of like the Houthis in Yemen at this point. Name your pub the Three Lions. The name will represent lions from three nations, Iran, Britain and Israel. Not a bad one. Also, it's kind of like England, the Three Lions. Iran's unguided missiles, you claim target mosques. So there have been 3 or 4 different type of missiles that the Iranian regime have been launching. We had the cruise missiles, we had the ballistic missiles. You had also, in terms of the drones, we also had the different ones. We had Shahid, we had Fatah and all the others. Because they want to preserve what they have left, especially in terms of the bigger warheads, they are using multiple types of missiles. That's why some of them obviously are guided-ish, some of them are not guided. And obviously, they just hit random places. I support Israel by your guzzling propaganda. Yeah, sure. We're just giving you guys the facts, but if you don't like it, then you can shout propaganda and cry to your mummy. If snowflakes want to continue to watch this channel, they can do it and cry about it. But don't forget, the more you watch this channel and leave comments, you are going to help the algorithm. Carter says, so the IRGC sent a missile to Haifa and it destroyed the oldest mosque in the area. Some saviors of the Muslims. Carter, how dare you say this? Now you're doing propaganda for Israel. See, this... According to Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, how dare you? There's a non-super chat. I just thought it's best to show to you. 2C is here to bring you out of the 7th century. Yes, leave the 7th century nonsensical ideology aside. If you want to talk about propaganda, there's been this insane, black, dark, one world government agenda since the 7th century, a one world government under the black flag of Islam. That's the king of propaganda. It's been going on for centuries, and there are still some people who continue to fall for Islam. Peter says, Candace Owens is going to bat poop crazy. She says it doesn't matter that schools and hospitals are hit in Israel since they bombed hospitals in Gaza and Israel is lying about tunnels. So that's the thing. If they are not outraged, right, about hospitals and schools right now in Israel being hit, then that means the gloves are off, right? Because they are saying that, we were going to hit a government site, but it hit a school or a hospital, it's okay in Israel. So in that case, going forward, none of these people can complain about the IDF hitting hospitals or schools or whatever in Gaza. They can no longer complain. They've lost that right because they say it's allowed now. So the IDF could do whatever they want. Obviously, the Israelis, at least, don't really do it targeted. They always evacuate. They issue the evacuation orders so that civilians leave. If people in Gaza don't want to leave, that's their problem. And there are a number of reasons why they don't leave. Some do leave, obviously. But the Iranian people, the anti-IRGC people, tend to leave. When the IDF says evacuate, they have been evacuating. Because they're not stupid. Now, I just became a member of 2CTV Plus. Love your content and news. Yes, we're actually going to have some very, very exciting content coming on 2CTV Plus. So we are still working on our Israel documentary, which we filmed about a month or so ago. We're also going to be soon releasing a documentary about the Western traditional values and Christian values and just religious values in terms of the decline since the 20th century because of the ultra-liberal society that we had, but also now the resurgence. A lot of countries like Belgium, France, Austria, UK is seeing a resurgence when it comes to the young people. Younger generation are becoming slightly more traditional, more conservative minded. So we will basically, we've just made a big documentary about that, which will be released soon on 2CTV Plus. Also, actually, good point to be made. I'm going to continue with the update, don't worry. If you're a member of 2CTV Plus, obviously, if you haven't, then do it. After this live stream, because it's Fridays on the chat forum that we have, there is a virtual pub. Basically, people just get together. If you want to come talk to me directly and like-minded people, I'm going to be on that voice channel where we'll just basically, some people have a drink, we'll just talk about nonsense. So Fridays we do that. So straight after this live stream, I'm going to join the members of 2CTV Plus on our chat forum, which, by the way, you can also see here. I'll get some of the comments from the chat forum. All right, let's see what we have. And then I'm going to go to the super chats again. Please weigh in on the perspectives of whether to keep the Ayatollah alive versus just taking him out. Many understandably want him flushed into the eternal rat sewer. But there's also a lot of talk about why keeping him alive is beneficial, which seems bonkers. Please explain your take on this. So, I mean, keeping him alive, if you only fear that his death would, he will become a martyr and things will happen, I'm not really sure. This case is sort of more like Mussolini, as opposed to, I don't know, if you had actually killed Karl Marx, for example, he would have been even a bigger martyr, right? If somehow the Israelis no, at this point it doesn't really matter. I think the important thing will be evidence. If he's there, if he gets killed, evidence, right? Also, yeah, I did mention last night when we were giving you guys the update about the bunker area being attacked by the IDF. I did say at the beginning of the live stream, people get excited randomly on social media. People were saying, "Oh, he's been assassinated." Like, don't just randomly say he's been assassinated when he hasn't. So tonight it's happening again. Tonight, the last few minutes, people are saying he's dead. He's dead. He hasn't posted on X. It's not actually him posting on X, it's his team. Do you really think Ali Khamenei knows how to post on X? Anyway, that says war crimes. You don't see the left complaining now. Yep. Pub name Myers, Aldag and Ali Bones. We're still going on with about the pub names. I love that. As an American, I really feel it is the time for President Trump to aid our ally Israel, send bombs and bombers and air defense munitions. What do you think that he will do, and what impact will the talks by EU and Iran have on Trump? The thing is, realistically, with knowing the trend of personality, the EU talks with Iran is, Trump is not going to be happy about that. He doesn't like to be told what to do, but you never know. So I don't like to speculate about what the president is going to do, but his decision is simply about publicly speaking, is simply about the nuclear sites, Fordo. The Israel's mission is the elimination of the IRGC. There are two different missions. So obviously taking out either the Supreme Leader or Fordo is going to be resulting in the end of the IRGC. But these guys are going to be hiding in their tunnels for a long time until the military bring them out. Disgraceful. Where are all the paid protesters? Where is the global outrage? Greta Gobling is hiding in a bunker, apparently. Pub name the Lance. Oh my God, we've still got the pub names. Have you heard from your dad? No, no contact from anybody inside Iran, including my father in Tehran. It's now been 4 or 5 days since Monday. Come on, Iran. Next target is the Al-Aqsa Mosque. I know. Get the Al-Aqsa Mosque. That would be funny. All right, let's quickly go back to some of the super chats. There's a lot I've been missing out. Oh dear. Iran is wasting their 2 week negotiating with the EU, who isn't even involved in the conflict. Yeah, I know. I'm not really sure what the plan is from the Iranian regime side. I think they're hoping that they could push the president to stop Israel, right? If I were the Iranian regime from day one, I wouldn't have attacked Israel. I would have just used my defense system to try to counter the Israeli missiles and the fighter jets and the drones and pretend to be the victim. That would have been a better strategy. If the Iranian regime would have just like stay at home, say, oh no, we're under attack, we are so defenseless, we're not attacking Israel, look, we're so good, that would have been a better strategy. Because then the whole world, more than now, all of them, the EU and even the US, would have been forced to say, yeah, we kind of feel sorry for the Iranian regime now because they're not even attacking the Jews. They're just defending themselves. But the idiots started hitting Israel from day one. Like, that's what you get. You effed around. Had the IRGC precision that they wouldn't hit the mosques. But they're probably going to say it was a fake mosque, which, by the way, was the oldest mosque in Haifa. Your background with the straight wooden panels are destroying my eyes. It's like looking into a spiral. Well, I don't know, go get sunglasses, get glasses. I'm not going to change it. I try to download your app and subscribe to 2CTV Plus, but I get an error message. It says try later. Download your app. Okay, I hope you're not subscribing on the app, right? You're not doing that, right? That's a bad idea. I hope, because you said download the app, you're trying to subscribe. No, subscribe on 2c.tv. Go on the browser, 2c.tv, and obviously use the promo code 1million to get that 50% discount. Then when you have the login details, then you can go on the app and log in from the app. Don't try to register on the app because you can't even use the discount code. What's the point? So the best thing to do is just go on the browser first, 2c.tv, register, and then when you have the app, which you can download for free, then you can just use the login details. If you still have a problem, send me an email now so I could check it straight after the live stream, or I'll get one of the team, obviously, members to do it. Eddie, thank you very much. What's this? So mosques, mistake, hospital, intentional. Think. Yeah. I dare and I can. Oh, yeah. Propaganda. How is China exactly participating in the war? Mostly just behind the scenes, privately helping the Iranian regime. Publicly, they don't have balls to come and say we're on the IRGC side. They're saying we could mediate between both sides. It's just classic China. They're too scared to even publicly come out and declare their support for the Iranian regime because they know President Trump's going to go mental. Hey, happy belated birthday. That was 10 years ago. An upcoming wedding and over 1 million 2C subscribers 2C. So deserved. Keep up the brilliant job that you do. Kudos to your team as well. Much love to the OGs. I hope your dad is safe. Thank you so much for your kind words. And Matthew says the IDF will continue not to target civilians. Target set what? Or give warning if civilians present despite Iran because what? IDF is a moral army, that's true, I got that one. And does what is right despite others. Yes, I think I got the gist of it. Thanks, Matthew. Why Israel ADF is failing? Is it because it is us? I don't know. I think you're saying why is Israeli... How is the idea failing when they've taken control of the skies in Iran? They've taken out all the leadership of the IRGC. They continue to take out their military sites and they continue to take out their nuclear scientists and everybody else. And considering that Israel is this big and Iran is this big, and they have to go around the country and one by one take them out, and they are doing it. And we're only day 7. And Israel completely destroyed the whole thing. The IRGC. How are they failing here? I'm not really sure. Did they really think this war is going to be like a half an hour war? It's not a video game. It's not Call of Duty. It's going to take weeks at best. Now, ideally, you want it to be quicker than that, but it's not as easy. What will happen to the Christians in Iran, and what would Syria do? Christians are fine, as long as they just evacuate the target when the IDF obviously issues evacuation orders, then they're fine. Syria is already basically helping Israel by opening up its airspace. That's it. Because obviously it's in the interest of Syria for the Islamic Republic to fall apart, because Syria doesn't like the Iranian regime. Steak and lobster being served to the US troops now before deployment. Well, they're lucky, aren't they? Steak and lobster. I have every faith in the US troops, Navy, Air Force. They're going to be extremely professional as usual. If President Trump gives the final order, they're going to go in, do their job, come out, done. Tom Cruise style. Not able to enjoy the most benefits of 2CTV Plus on iPad. Why would you go on an iPad? Get the 2CTV app. Actually, don't we have 2CTV tap on the iPad as well? I'm pretty sure we do. But yeah, get the app. You get all the benefits on the app itself rather than going to the browser on the iPad. It's difficult. Even I don't do that. All right. Much love to your dad from Israel. Here's to hearing much good news soon coming in from Iran as this all unfolds. Yes, I agree. If the US decides to move forward, I hope that they give them everything that they have, not just a little spat. I mean, if they do decide to go, big if, it's gonna go all in crazy, because President Trump doesn't like to lose. He likes to win, whatever he does. And he doesn't want to leave things untouched. So if he decides to do it, then obviously he's going to be crazy. Still complaining about the backdrop. All right, let's quickly go to some of the members of 2CTV Plus. The filthy Islamic regime led by iToilet targeting civilians, that's all they know. Despicable barbarians. God bless Israel. Yep. Let's see if there's any nice haircut. Do you think I've got a haircut? How is it possible to become even more handsome? It's hard work, guys. No, my hair is now so long that I can just put it back. Unfortunately, until Monday, I'm not going to be able to get a haircut because, firstly, there's war, but also there's a couple of things this weekend, which means also Sundays are very difficult to find a barber. Susan says they've hit a mosque, a synagogue, a kindergarten, a school, a hospital. Where are the war crimes cry or genocide? They don't care. The ICC doesn't care. The ICJ don't care. The EU don't care. James says, that ain't no earthquake. Someone effed up the mixing bowls. AFC Manica says, that was no earthquake. David Lammy fell over in Geneva and they felt it in Iran. Oh no, the foreign secretary. All right, there's a couple of other suggestions for the pub names. New member, thanks to the 50% discount. Been watching on YouTube for a long time. And you just became a member? Thank you very much for that, by the way. And everybody else, as well as Keith. We're going to come back shortly, but don't forget, if you're a YouTube member, go on the homepage of YouTube and click on membership tab. There is a link for you guys to get your tickets for the upcoming New Media Conference, which will be held on the 9th of August. We're bringing in the new media outlets from all around the world in one place. The new media revolution is here and being led by 2CTV. And I've been told to remind you again, follow me. Follow me on social media. My COO and fiance is going to be happy that I did this. So this is my tag handle. I'm getting old now. Maya at 2C. No, I can't. At Maya2C on X. Follow me. And of course, then you got at 2CTV. I don't have to put that as easy. At 2CTV on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, all the shebang. Just go search my name. Follow us everywhere on social media. You get the latest up-to-date info. And of course, download the app as well. I'm Maya2C and we are the media.